A very good evening, my dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining us today. Another episode of The Devil's Den, brought to you by FOOTYtalk MY. So again, it's been a wonderful week. I believe the last few games for us. We have some big games and big moments coming up in the next 1 week. So again, it's going to be exciting. So anyway, before I even proceed further, so thanks guys as usual to watch the show. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on the links below. That is Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. For more football shows by FOOTYtalk.my, we have many shows over the weeks. So just do the like and subscribe buttons to get the updates and notifications, right? So anyway, now let's move on to my co-host, the standout character of Devil's Den, the one and only Asin, but apparently now she has another favorite name, Miss James. Hi, Miss James. How are you doing?
Hi Dinesh. Yes, today I have my name is Serena James for obvious reason. So yeah. Anyway, Abang Din, wow, what a great video we saw yesterday about you commenting and ranting on Marshall. I would say it was a hilarious one, of course.
The
I
thing
think
is, it's something where you call a bag off the chest moment. I couldn't
yeah,
take
I
it.
can see.
Okay, let's do it. I feel better right now. I feel lighter and I feel more brighter. I might not look bright internally. I feel brighter. So yeah, that was a good one.
I mean, it was a good, really, really good reviews, and then the part when you put into the hilarious moments all together with the edits and all this, going on, it was really good. For those of you who have not seen that video, go on to this Facebook page, FOOTYtalk.my. Go and check our previous video posted yesterday. It was amazing, amazing review. It was honest review from Dinesh as well, because Dinesh has been number one haters of Marshall. So you have seen the video, you would have really laughed just like how I did.
Right. Thanks, Serena. Guys. So as what she said, you can have a watch of the video and humor yourself. Anyway, we have some interesting panels today. Some newcomers to the show, and let me introduce them first. Mr. Warren, Mr. Warren Lim.
Hello.
Thank you so much, Warren, for joining the show. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Thank you, Abandin. Thank you, Serena Jane, for having me. It's my first time on the show. This would be
Yeah.
nice. This would be nice to each other. Yes,
I
be
think
honest at the
first
same
time,
time.
first for
Yes,
many
yes.
more shows.
Happy
Yeah.
to have you, Warren.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Warren. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And moving on to the next person, Mr. Azri. How are you doing, brother?
I'm good, thanks. Thank you so much for having me as well. Really, really appreciate it. Looking forward to the chat as well, or the debate.
All right. Thanks a lot, Azri, for also joining us to the show. Hope to see you for many more shows to come, right? All right. So anyway, let us just move on to our first topic first. It was the Newcastle and Sociedad game. A comfortable win on the Newcastle game. We went through it for the Sociedad game. So of course, Rena, maybe you want to take this up.
Yeah. Okay, so guys, let's start out with Newcastle first. If you guys watched the last week episode, me and my one of the speakers, Kevin, were actually arguing about Daniel James, whether he's ready or not for this game. And he's proven enough for this game, particularly for me. That's why I said the reason why I put my name as Serena James for obvious reason. So I'm really happy. So yeah, we won the game with 3-1. So we had shot Tire. I think I got it right. His pronunciation shot Tire or shot Tire. His debut as well. So yeah, let's walk through about the match. Just like how did we did on that match and all that. Can I have from you first, Warren?
Oh, okay. Hi. Just to write on what you mentioned on Daniel James. So I guess recently we've been having a lot of what they call transfer of. We're really looking for a right winger, from Sancho onwards. I think we're trying to dig in from our own academy as well. So and then we got Ahmad Dalu coming in. So I guess a lot of time you look like Shaw as well. Because with the likes of Teles coming in, all of them automatically just want to wake up. They feel that their position is jeopardized. And obviously, we have Ole. Ole, I think he's very charismatic. He's able to jive into individuals to bring up and unlock them. Unlike our past managers, they always criticize the players, but to really go deep and unlock them, I think that's actually also credit to the manager as well.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I think again by having more opportunity as well, perhaps they prove themselves in the training. All right, coming up, showing up in big games and small games as well. Scoring goals are obviously is most important. So I think to any manager, irregardless the goal is nice or not nice, you're still scoring goals.
Yeah.
So every manager wants that, and most important, he feels on the right flank. That's what we really need. So I guess the if he can continue to prove himself, so I guess we don't have to be so hardened to try to get to sign Jadon Sancho lah. If we can find it within ourselves, within the team, then why not we just develop it from there.
Oh, that's interesting though. Yeah, that's
Mm,
interesting. Azri, what do you
mm,
think about this? Warren was saying that
mm,
if we have our players in, we have our academy players that we can use it, we have our young players that we can use it, and then do we seriously need to sign another players in, especially like Sancho's, has been like rumors for us and all that. Do you agree with what Warren said that we can use our own players instead of getting players in?
Absolutely, especially for that position where they thought like Jadon Sancho was going to be the savior, especially after the departure of Sanchez or failed players of that position. The closest that we got was actually Greenwood consistently on the right, but then with the arrival of Daniel James actually uh, giving it both presence of assist and for goals, right? We are actually well off already in that position, and I'm kind of glad that we are in this situation prior to the next summer window where we need to actually make purchases rather than focusing on that position. We can actually look into others such as the defense or primarily for replacements of Mata or Matic considering their age. So yeah, I definitely agree with Warren.
So you were saying that we could, I mean, because you see Mata and Matic, all these players are aging as well, right? So and also we have Cavani as well, but Cavani is for temporary, for me a temporary purchase, like I would say. So would you say that we should continue having these players on, and then rather than like start developing the players? Because if you see like other teams like cities and all this, right? They are buying players, they're strengthening their squad, they're having the squad depth. So are you saying that would you agree that we actually would have be able to sustain with this kind of players for now?
I suppose it depends what the objective is at the end of the day, because if you wanted instant results, unfortunately, nobody can wait for a development of a youth player. So that I assume is what Guardiola has been doing for City, just purchasing the right player at the right time. So heads off to all the scouts who have been making all the right purchases that seems to fit the bill on his style of play. So if it was meant for development, and which has always been the ethos of Manchester United, I would say go for it. We're playing much better based on previous seasons, and even if we don't, let's say it's very optimistic to think that we have a chance of actually winning the EPL title. But I wouldn't mind if we are playing the way we are right now, consistently, more positively, and
Yeah.
still have that development there. There's something nice to see it there.
Yes, yes. I mean, tell me about it, man. The EPL, I think that we are really close to win it, because like, if like the games again, Sheffield, all the points that we dropped, right? I mean, if we would have tackled all that, I would have been, competing with City now in a closer point.
Of
Warren, I
course.
would like to ask this one question, Warren, to you.
yes.
This actually been discussed also last week, regarding the choices of keeper, because okay, we have seen how De Gea and Henderson, and I feel that Henderson has so much better in terms of commanding it and all that. So we were also questioning his Ole selections is it based on merit or based on what? Because we have seen Henderson proving very well as well. So we wanted really to see him playing for this game. But then it was De Gea playing was this game. And it always happened that whenever we were asking for prediction, they always give us that one goal from the opposite team because they said we always going to concede goal. So what do you think about these particular things? Like why do you think Ole would have chosen De Gea again for this match and for us to not having a clean sheet again?
Okay. To answer your question, I believe this fall across a lot of football teams, okay, because simply because the stopper, the sweeper position, or the goalkeeper has only one position. So as a manager, you only have one choice. Unlike your defenders, right? You have four players or three-player playing. So the goalkeeper, you only have one. So to really roll the dice on this, right, you definitely have to fit in your best and the person with the most experience. So De Gea, you also have Champions League. We have World Cup experience. Okay, so again, the exposure is on there. Henderson actually, from our academy. All right, he's from our academy player. So I guess it's how to say that if you are a manager and then you likewise on fantasy, okay, we are selecting our players every week, so obviously you want to either select the most experienced one. If the person is not scoring or doesn't have the most clean sheet, but the name itself carries a lot of weight. And as always, the tradition of United, right, they always play the second keeper in smaller, in other leagues or other competition, not primary. And then if you look at the UEFA Cup final, the final year, right, Romero was playing towards all the stages, but come final they have to put De Gea inside. I think it's a bit not fair for Romero, lah. Because he's been playing right from the group stage, knockout stage or final, he's out, he's not there. So I guess as a manager, you would always want to fill in your best. It's just for the assurance. So likewise, for Henderson to really stand out is actually only when the moment like you have Chelsea's Kepa who start showing up a lot of errors. That's the only chance a second best player, goalkeeper in this sense, they can really come in. So and again, we hope that Henderson will have a chance to be selected in the England squad. So this is one of the ways, because when you're a manager, you see that, wow, my second choice goalkeeper is being selected, in the England squad, and he has more playing time. It also indirectly gives him confidence to select him in the first team. Yeah.
Yes, correct. Because that's what Henderson also needed. Actually, he need more game time for him to be England number one keeper. You see.
Yeah.
So anyway, we have here from Dave B. Hi Dave, thanks for watching. He's welcoming both of you to Azri and Warren.
Hello, Dave.
Hey.
Hi.
Dave also continues with nice kids, Reina. Nice kid by Reina. And then we have some comments from Power. Hi, Poa. Thank you for watching the show. Hello, Bang Din, Reina, James, Azrin, and Warren. Walk alone. We will never walk alone. Yeah, because we are GGMU, right? Thanks, bro. Thanks anyway. But again, guys, this to add on, right? On the Newcastle game, especially, it was a 3-1 win. I think was it a comfortable win, Azri? What do you think was a comfortable win, or we actually had to slog our way through?
Okay. This one is just my opinion, but each time when we score first, I get nervous. We seem to do a lot worse when we score first, and then we're gonna get lead like very very like relaxed, way too relaxed, and true enough, like how the half-ass clearance of a header from Maguire went into the half volley, it could have been avoided in so many ways. So I felt that when we come later to the Real Sociedad game, I felt that was way better, more professional. But in this sense, we did need to keep the composure. We did need to hold that nerve, and I'm just glad that it was against Newcastle rather than Manchester City or any of the big ones at the time being, because
but Azri, even against Newcastle, we were worried, because we always slip up the bottom teams,
That's also true. That's also true. But the thing is, it could have been worse. So we had the chance to let it slip, but we didn't. We held it, and we just kept on going. And we were thankful because Newcastle did have more chances as well on their end, putting more pressure on the defense. But I'm just glad that Daniel James had his break. He made it work out of nothing. So yeah.
Okay. Just on that, I would like to ask Warren a question. We had a penalty. Against Newcastle. All right. So Rashford got tripped. So do you think the penalty was justified? Because this is for all the other fans who are watching, because they say VAR and all that. So what do you think, on your point of view? Was it justified?
Yes, definitely. Firstly, I mean, we cannot all these penalty things, right? I mean, we don't intentionally dive lah. I mean, if we do back a situation whereby we call back all the penalties were given to us, and if there's a chance we can view back all the VRs. It's a lot of time we are trying to rush in, you know. Okay, so to hang on to that, because one thing I noticed sometimes United, right, they just want to walk the ball into the line, you know, to the goal. They don't shoot from outside, so they're always used to playing that, you know. And every time when they reach the box, everybody want to play pattern or leave the ball behind, do a dummy, you know, and stuff like that. They want to bring it real close. So I guess last time we used to feed the ball inside. We used to have Beckham, you know. We used to feed a lot. I think there's one time David Moyes, I think we have the most crosses, you know. So having said that, I think Ole tried to every time play the ball differently this time, try to bring it in. You know, we have all the fast-paced players. I mean, unlike Bandin, one of them is your Martial. When he's on form, he really goes in the box one. Okay, okay, he's one of those guys. All right, and then we have Rashford, and that's why we have Mason Greenwood, all these guys, all these speedsters. So that's why we want to make use of them and just drive through the box. So as a result, that's how we've been getting all the penalties.
Because why I asked that was because personally, from my point of view, I felt it was soft. It was a soft, you know. So I think it was just a clip on the ankle, and the way he dropped was a bit dramatic, though. But again, a contact is a contact in the penalty.
Correct.
Yeah. So, but again, I just wanted to clear the air. Where am I the only one felt like that, or maybe anybody share my sentiments? So yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you, Warren.
I see.
It's a soft penalty. For me, it's a soft penalty. But anyway, penalty is penalty, you see. So yeah, we're not going to argue with it. And also, he has had a lot of fantasy players out there, okay, for scoring. So yeah, great fun. Okay, guys, thanks for the review. Let's move on with the second game of the week, which is the second leg of the Europa match against Real Sociedad, playing at home. The game was draw 0-0. So I have actually for this match, there are some changes, players especially. Maguire was rested. I thought Bruno would be rested as well, but he was the captain of the match. I would really love to see him having the captain's armband, you know, so it's really nice to see. And we have other players as well. Greenwood was there, Marshall was there, and all that. So basically, the game ended 0-0. We have some youths playing in the game as well. We have 5 substitutions played. So, what do you think about this match as well? Just a short reviews on this, because for me, I do not see any. I think it's all more like an individual rather than the team, because it's like more like everybody just like going on, because they already know we have this lead 4-0, right? So, what would you say on this, Azri?
No, I felt like it was very experimental. It was a good time to be experimental, considering the 4-0 lead in the first leg. So my focus was actually looking at the centre back, see what was going to be this time round. And true enough, we didn't have Harry Maguire. What do we have? We had great everybody, but then we had Lindelof. So I felt that he was not the strongest point, or it wasn't his best form that night. But and that's actually a good thing for me, because that gives Henderson more time in terms of pairing, in terms of saves, in terms of being more on the ball. And considering how he is very commanding, especially at corners, right? And
Exactly.
Harry Maguire would always usually be the one taking it off De Gea's shoulders. This was a good time to see how good he was to take it there, go on the counter with his distributions. It was really good. That was my focus on it. And out of all of it, it was a good combination. We did have some loose balls or loose touches here and there, but again, a good way to experiment so late in the season. That's my take.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, talking about Lindelof, yeah, actually, we had one goal actually scored for this game, was Swansea Beam. It was being called off because of the because of the knee kung fu kick or what Lindelof did. So yeah, Warren, what do you think? Would you second what Azri said just now? I mean, yeah, I would agree in a sense when he said it's an experimental kind of game, but because you wanted to see how these people play. But in terms of the choices of players, do you agree with what Ole have made?
Yes, because we are going into the second leg at home, not away. So, having said that, because we are at home, I think it's much better to try the players, and because when you reach the interval part of the season, right, the next part is all about hopefully to be injury free, especially for our key players. Maguire has the most hours on the pitch than any other players, not just the United players, other teams. All right. So this guy has played the day one. He's with the club, and he's one of the key players. Although it's not my choice, I don't really like him that much. But we don't have, he's the best at what we have. Okay, so because of that, I feel that we should be swapping, and everybody. Bailey. Sometimes he's very sloppy. He's very careless. But other than time, he's very sharp. So it's good to have them out there so that any given time of the season, imagine if Maguire is down, touch wood, the later part of the season is when during that time our points matters, to be on top of the league, so we need all this. So right now it's definitely to salvage them, to save them, and play others. And Bruno, Ole used to say before, you don't play this guy is unhappy. So you have no choice but to play him, And then, riding what you say, Serena, just now, to me, I think he makes a better captain than Maguire. Okay, he's not as close as Roy Keane, but every time you see a foul, he actually walks up to the referee. You don't see Maguire running up from his bottom half up to the referee. So I still feel Bruno will be a better captain. So this is the time. I think the last time he was very happy. He was captaining the team when Ole announced it in a press conference just right beside him. So that in a way also give him motivation. I think he has more to shine for us, but again we have to watch him. We have to really take care of him, not to run him out.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like the jewel of our team, like we really need to take care of him. But I do agree what you say on Bruno, because according to Ole, he also said that Bruno always wanted to play. So it was his decision, I guess, that he wanted to play. So it was decent enough for me that he played and all that. And yes, my next question has to be, this also came from Deva Kumaran. Hi Deva, thanks for watching. He said, Diamond CK, what's your take on who's going through, United or AC Milan? So yeah, we have seen the draw last night. So United will take AC Milan.
I think before we do that, let me just tell you guys and all the viewers. Okay, Deva, just to answer your question, but thanks for watching in, Deva. This particular topic we're going to put on hold first, because we are going to have a special edition, European edition. So we're going to highlight this question there, because if we're going to take this, then we might not have enough time. But again, for Deva's question, Deva, we will keep you posted. It will be a European edition, like what we had a Sociedad match previously. So then again, we will definitely answer and we will debate and we can go all night long. All right, for that one.
But so again, Deva, stay tuned and watch our weekday show. Then you can see our review on this. But anyway, we're going to have Zlatan back in Old Trafford. That's something I'm excited about. Yeah. That's
but let's run through the comments, Serena. Guys, we are buzzing in the comment section. So let me just bring a couple of comments here by Dave B. We have Dave B. Thanks, Dave B, for watching the show. So he said, Janujai again proved United made a big mistake letting him go. Though they failed as a team, Sociedad, Janujai was a stand-up player in both legs. His vision, his individual ability was what United missing on AM9. He said that. And so what happened was, after he said that, there was another comment here by Vino. Let me run. Oh, sorry. Dave actually commented back again. He said, what's the long-term plan with the players you have right now? Sell to buy? Glazers, are they realistic ambition? And who would you let go in the summer? AM9. Okay, so again, I
like the last part. Yeah.
But the thing is, I think we have already discussed about this, because the Sociedad game was actually a very one-off game after the first leg. So the second leg was just a formality game. I think if we did not turn up for the game, I think it would be still a 3-0. We were still qualified, I guess. So personally, I feel it was a good game. But again, Azri, do you think the 4-0 win at the first leg, do you think that kind of killed off the entire tie, or was it the penalty which Sociedad missed in the first and the second leg?
All right. So I honestly got nervous when we had a penalty on the 12th minute in. So I'm like, okay, if we concede now, we've got another X amount of minutes to concede. So that's where again we might actually just lose under the pressure. So it was honestly fortunate that the penalty just went really wide from there, and everybody just came back to that same mentality. Okay, we're back on the 4-0 comfort. We can still just build and experiment further. But on the part where again coming in so late into the season to say that we should be comfortable on a 4-0 basis, I would not agree to that. That would probably be why Bruno Fernandes wanted to play. He probably doesn't believe in a 4-0 lead that you're good to go on the second leg and just play around. He's there to actually make sure we don't mess it up or we don't goof up and let in easy goals. So yeah, I hope I answered that question.
Right. But thanks, Azri. I mean, that's another, not even a talking point, but it was a point that the penalty missed because he missed it in front of Bruno, so that was a bit embarrassing for the particular player. Forgot his name. I don't know. Anyway. So anyway, guys, but that's the review we have. But okay, let's move on to the next topic.
Sorry, before you move on, right? I just want to ask you something. I want to ask Azri and Warren. Do you see Dinesh's screen is blinking? Do you see it's blinking?
No.
No.
Is it just me? I just wanted to. I think that Marshall's curse is going on you or something.
Was that a troll or reality? So fans, maybe the viewers can let me know whether my screen is really blinking or Serena having some hallucination. Anyway, guys, so we'll move to the next topic. I mean, the big game, Chelsea versus Man United. All right. So, but before we start that, we have a wonderful Chelsea fan in the house right now, Mr. Mohan Tambiraja. Thank you, Mr. Mohan, for joining our show. Hope you're having a good day.
Thank you for inviting me to the Devil's Den.
Thanks, sir. And so again, thanks for joining. You have been a great fan of Chelsea. We have seen your appearance in the FOOTYtalk MY, and it's a pleasure for us to have you in the show, being a very objective, inside fan of Chelsea. So again, sir, what do you think about this particular big game coming up very soon?
I see it as a very, very close encounter. Very little is going to separate the two. I would see United creating more chances, but Chelsea having more possession. And its end of the day is going to be which one of the team is going to take their chances. Obviously, I feel United are going to have more chances, probably on breakaways, as Chelsea's plan under Tuchel is possession. So it's if you look even against Atletico midweek, Chelsea had something like 70% possession playing away. And I see it as a very, very close match.
Okay. I mean, that's interesting because the Atletico Madrid game, I was a bit surprised at the scoreline because it's Simeone's team and they're playing at Madrid themselves. So it was a 1-0 win, away goal, a very vital win for Chelsea. So I think they're coming on a strong form. But again, yeah. But Mr. Bon, just to ask you another question. We have Tuchel, the tactical man. We have Ole, the man management type of a manager. So where do you see this game heading? Is it going to be a tactical game, or is it just going to be straightforward 90 minutes of football attacking all the way? What do you think?
No, I certainly do not expect an end-to-end match. Because, and as I said earlier, I see United's best hope I would see is going to be on counter attacks, and they are going to be extremely fast on the wings, and definitely the playmaker, as I see it in the match, is going to be Bruno Fernandes. That's for sure. He is the kingpin of the United team, and in many of the matches, he's the man who's going to make a difference. That's what Chelsea actually lack, a leader. United have got a fantastic, since I think after Eric Cantona, you've got a leader in Bruno Fernandes, which many other clubs certainly do not have. Like if you look at Man City, it is basically a team effort. There is no one single player you can point out in Man City. It's a system that Pep Guardiola has, and that's working to a T. Chelsea certainly do not have a leader on the field.
Okay.
Basically, under Tuchel,
Yeah. Oh, sorry. You go on. Sorry.
Yeah, under Tuchel, Chelsea's main focus is defense and possession. If you look at the number of, it's very seldom that you see Chelsea creating clear-cut chances. Possession, absolutely. But it's not good enough to have possession. You must have the cutting edge in front of goal. And if you look at the number of look at Oliver Giroud, I think in that game he had one or two, or against Atletico, he only had one or two absolutely shots at goal, and that goal was absolutely spectacular goal, definitely. And I see it as a match, very touchy match with a 1-goal difference between the two teams or a draw.
Okay, interesting. Thanks, Mr. Mohan.
Mr. Mohan, I have a question here. Sorry, Dinesh. Sorry. Mr. Mohan, I have a question. Before that, hi Dave. He said hi to you as well. Hi Mohan sir.
Hi Dave. Hi.
So yeah, Mr. Mohan, I would like to ask these questions. We know Chelsea has been strong defensively as well, right? So I wanted to ask, would like to see Giroud playing in this game or not?
I would certainly like, because he can bully the United defense like no other, and you need a strong man up front. And
Correct.
And for me, I would start with Giroud, because there's nobody else. Tammy Abraham he comes in, he floats in the game. He's not decisive, but Giroud can make that. He's got that extra cutting edge which the others do. But Tammy has got speed on his side, and but Giroud certainly does not have speed with him. But for United, in terms of speed, the front three, they've got an awesome attacking threesome there. Whoever plays in the
okay, that's good.
Yeah, whoever plays in the
I want
middle.
to ask you, when you say speed, did you include Marshall as well into that?
I do. I certainly do, because on his day, he can be quite trouble to the opposing teams.
Okay, but Mr. Moon, just to ask you back, if you say you do, when was the last time you saw that?
The other day when he scored that goal, I thought that
against
was
Sheffield. Against the 9-0 one, is it?
No. I think it was last week he scored a goal, right?
No, Marshall didn't score.
But I know that he is an extremely clumsy player who doesn't take his chances.
Extremely lazy player as well.
Lazy.
That is, you see, if you look at him and Paul Pogba, they look very lazy players. But the thing is, they've got skill. Marshall can actually dribble past players, and even Paul Pogba, his skill on the ball is pretty good. I mean, if somehow or other he has not clicked with United, what he did for Juventus, he's hardly done it for United. I am a bit surprised whether it's a system of play or whether the support that he is getting from the others in the team.
Okay, but yeah, thanks, Mr. Mohan, for that. But then, guys, Warren, I have a question for you. Now we have Chelsea and Man United. We are playing away, and as you guys know, this season our home is in the other 19 stadiums in England. Old Trafford is never a home right now. Away is our home. So can we make Stamford Bridge our home and get the 3 points? Or do you think this is going to be a struggle for United, Warren? What do you think?
I think for Ole, this is actually a very experimental Chelsea team for him to study. Having the fact Tuchel just take over. Tuchel actually has the experience of managing high-profile players from his previous team, the likes of PSG and Dortmund. Unlike Lampard. So sometimes, again, for me, I feel a coach, a strength on his coach is not just bringing the influence or charismatic, but to unlock a player is very important. How you talk to them, how you give them confidence and things like that. So that's very ideal. So for Ole to study Tuchel's game I think he Chelsea had played 4 to 5 games under him. Correct me if I'm wrong. So again, it's still very early for him to look at it, and then and if you know Ole, right, every time big matches, you will have funny lineups, and I don't understand why. you know, every time big game, you never imagine, this player, are you sure is in the lineup? So that's the thing. So Ole also surprises at times, but I'm not sure because he does it because he's a master tactician on his own, you know. So to answer your question, then I feel that for me, if I'm Ole, he always watch it on the small little iPad on where he sits. Okay, so Tuchel, on the other hand, he will be on the pitch because Mr. Mohan said there's no leader, so it's actually like the second captain will be shouting from the touchline over there. So I think a lot of the gameplay will all come in the second half. The first half is just more about observing, studying, see how they're playing. Maybe all the players have changed now since they're under Tuchel. They do not play the same way. Maybe they're faster, they're slower, they're lazier. So the reading of the game will come after the first half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Warren. But okay, Azri, I have another question for you. Last season, sorry, we had a wonderful record against Chelsea. We were literally winning them in, I think, almost all the games we played against them. Maybe one, I think, draw or loss. But this season, not only with Chelsea, but with the top six or the big six, we can call them, we have not been performing very well. All right. But do you see a positivity in this particular game? Do you think there's a positive attitude, or do you think we have a big chance of getting 3 points, not alone a draw, but a 3 points?
Well, I mean, like, even though we did have a very good record with Chelsea, at least for the last three games, for that matter, right? This could be a whole new entire squad altogether under Tuchel, like Warren said. So wouldn't count. I wouldn't count on being like overly confident about this. Sure, we could actually have like our best lineup against this upcoming Chelsea match, but like Warren said, they're going to be studying each other, and we may not be seeing anything maybe in the first 20-40 minutes, but to me, I feel like there will be goals scored on both ends, and it's just a matter of who does it first. That would really, test how good the chasing team is going to react against it. Because for me, like I said, whenever we score first, I get nervous because we're gonna see how much pressure we're gonna take before they start banging on the defensive walls. But I can't picture how it is vice versa. If like Chelsea was to score first, are we really gonna do it on away or home for any of the games for that matter? So I feel like it's going to be a draw more than a 3-point takeaway. So yeah.
Okay,
Warren.
we're predicting, but
Yeah.
Serena, what do you think? Serena?
No, sorry, I have one question for Warren first.
Yes.
Based on what Mr. Mohan said earlier, right? He said he adore Bruno Fernandes and all that, which all of us did, right? He's actually one of the person that he has to really look through for this game. Is from us is Bruno, right? But looking from the past matches, right, Bruno doesn't really shine when it comes to the top six, the top six games, So what is your intake on this? Do you think like because it's Kante versus Bruno, so do you think Bruno's gonna have the same? I mean, he's not gonna be shine as he used to be for other than top six clubs.
Okay. Your question, right? Post on Bruno is what happened to Salah for the last two seasons. If you notice, he was the top scorer in the previous seasons, right? But he never scored among the top six one. And now recently, I think when we won Liverpool 3-2 and Salah managed to score. So to me, all of this, when it comes to big game, I'm sure the players, they have stage fright because a lot of them ride on their shoulders. Okay, so to me, I feel for Bruno, it's just a matter of time until he no longer have any more stage fright in big matches. So, but he still be there. Okay, I think sometimes he put too much pressure on himself in big games. I think it's not just the game; it's himself as well. Because I'm showing out a big team, it's a must win. So, and then his ball sometimes just tends you can see the way how he feeds the ball, right? It's very overconfident, or sometimes he just suppresses himself. Like, the ball cannot go through, he still passed it. That type. Because to him, there's a 50% chance the person will receive the ball. Likewise, when he play on smaller matches, he have lesser pressure. He ensures the ball goes 100%. Then only he release. So that I noticed that's the difference when he don't show up on big games.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, guys, let's make things interesting right now. Mr. Mohan, we have a lineup of your first 11, your predicted 11. All right, so maybe can you walk us through this? We have Mendy in the goalpost, Espeloketa, Rodriguez, Christensen, Hudson-Odoi, Jorginho, Kovacic, Alonso, Mount, Werner, and Giroud. So do you think this is going to be?
I would not like to see Alonso and Jorginho in the team. I would rather have, in place of Alonso, I would have Hakim Ziyech. I think I would prefer Hakim Ziyech in that role. He's much more creative. And I am certainly not impressed with Marcus Alonso. And with Jorginho, you need a game changer. Jorginho is just not a game changer. If we have Kante, I would rather have Kante and Kovacic in the middle compared to Jorginho.
Okay, interesting. So, but you want Giroud to start the game, right? You want him
yes,
to start the game?
I would certainly have Giroud in the middle. And for a stat that United have beaten Chelsea the last 3 times at the Bridge. And if they do it again this time, it's going to be quite groundbreaking, because Chelsea have not lost 4 times to the same team since 1930, which was the last time. So that's something we would probably want to not match or go down under.
But what would be your preferred formation? A 4-3-3 or a 3-4-3?
The current one, I would like back 3.
Back 3.
Yeah, and I would also like to see a great. I mean, I'm a bit surprised that what's his name, the American
Pulisic.
Pulisic. Yeah, he's not getting any game time, and I would rather start him than Timo Werner. I would prefer to put Timo Werner in the middle and Pulisic on the left or right with that's I would like to see it that way. If not for Giroud, I would have Timo Werner in the middle and Pulisic on the left.
Okay, all right, that's interesting, Mr. Mohan.
Yeah, that would be a really good attacking formation, because if you have the 2 defensive midfielders in Kovacic and Kante, that would definitely give United a hard time.
Yeah, they'll give Fernandes a headache, that's for sure.
Kante is a rock, huh? Kante is
Yeah, exactly. And
Park Ji-sung and Pirlo fiasco all over again.
His work rate, Kante's work rate is absolutely amazing. And if you do notice, whenever there is a corner given to Chelsea, when all the forwards are right up there in the penalty box, it's Kante who stays back, because if there is a long ball shot, he is the one guy who can chase the ball down.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Mr. Mohan, for your preferred lineup. But again, coming back to maybe Rena, who do you think would be your lineup, or maybe your choice of players for this game?
Actually, to be honest, I mean, first of all, Mr. Mohan, by all respect, I have to disagree on what you say on Marshall. I still disagree that you say Marshall is one of the best. I think, like I said, right, Dinesh made a video of Marshall. Sorry?
On his day, he can be matched.
I don't know when is this coming. At least they used to say female have these one things, once in a month, 1 week in a month, right? I don't know when it is, it's always waiting and waiting. But like I said, right, if you have to watch, Dinesh video from the FOOTYtalk MY
I will.
Facebook
I
page and
certainly
YouTube
will.
page. You really need to see, or maybe I can send it personally to you. You
Yeah,
can see
please.
what we are trying to say about him.
Okay.
Okay, Dinesh, back to your questions. I personally think probably United might be sitting back for this game. I do not see high scoring games and all this for this particular match. And preferred players, right? I would like to see Henderson playing on top before Digia, okay? And then on my back four, I would like to see because I'm sure Harry Maguire will going to be playing because he will be rested the previous game, right? So Harry Maguire and Bailly has to be start for this game, and also Luke Shaw and Wan Bissaka. And also I'm putting Fred there as well, Fred and Matic. And I'm putting Daniel James again. I want Daniel James to play for this game because he's quick. He can run. I just want him to be there. He can just run on the side and then just pass the ball and then he can. I wanted to see him playing in this big match, so I wanted to test more on him. Like I want people to know that this boy has something, And also I would like to have Rashford. No Marshall. Definitely no Marshall for this game. Even if second half we were goalless, right, 0-0, please do not put Marshall in expecting us to change the game. Definitely. It's like, like I say again, the referee run more than him, And when you do substitution, you expect the person who's going to be a game changer. This fella is the opposite way, I'm so sorry. I think I am taking over Dinesh ranting on this.
So all viewers, okay, don't label me an anti-Marshall Club president because we have a nomination here. She's the vice president. I did not say anything. Okay, so I'm innocent. The video was a one-off, and that's about it. I'm not going to start the topic. But again, Serena, thanks for your insight of the game. Azri, what do you think about this game? I mean, who would you prefer to have in your squad, and who you prefer not to have in the squad?
I would actually want Cavani in starting. Like it's almost similar to where for Chelsea they have their Rock in Giroud, and I feel like that would actually be a very lethal combination with Werner. Cavani can do the same for just about anyone from Martial to Greenwood to Daniel James. He can actually just be sort of like not say a false nine, but he can feed it and he can be at the box and be ready anytime. He's just waiting for a good pass. But the ones that I wouldn't want to see, I'm not anti Marcia yet, though. I wouldn't want to see Lindelof starting against Chelsea. It's too high a risk. I would rather take Maguire. I'd rather take. I even take Twanzebe if available. That's how confident I am in him because even though that previous goal was disallowed, he needed that. It's sort of like a little bit of a boost in his confidence that he can do it. So he may want to have a talk with Ole saying, I want to start, give this to me, or we'll see, right?
But do you think before that, do you think Konzibi to start this game? I mean, he has not been starting games for some time, okay, for some time. But do you think, or don't you think it's a bit too risky to start someone who's not fully match fit or fully not ready against a very good rejuvenated Chelsea squad? Do you think it's a bit too early for him to do that? Or do you think maybe we could be in a lead, a comfortable lead, and then you got to bring back the defense, and then you get a player out and you go to one team to be a add-on? Don't you think that would be perfect?
That can happen, but like what Warren says, right? Especially on big games, you suddenly see the lineup and say, "Hey, why is this player with this one player in the starting lineup?" So it could be a reverse psychology tactic, but it could also be a confidence boost. I take it back to the first time when Cavani just joined and Konzibi was against PSG. The way he man-marked Mbappe, that's the player that we want him to consistently be. And if he's not going to be sort of given that chance anymore in startups, it's a shame. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we have a comment from Dave B to Azri. Azri, your future at the Devils Den. I mean, both you guys are amazing thus far. But again, before I come to you, Warren, all viewers, do not forget to hit the subscribe and like button on YouTube and just share out the post to your buddies. More comments are welcome, because this is a hot game. So Warren, maybe you can take over and let me know what's your starting lineup and also the do's and don'ts for the United.
Okay, I'm not surprised to see if there's a three defensive back. We tried that once again, Man City, where we play behind three back. But that's again that happens when a very good form of a winning team from Man City. I'm still sticking back to the four that we have. De Gea, Shaw, Eric Bailly for me, Maguire, Wan Bissaka. Fred definitely have to be there. I think he could be a backup for Maguire to Mark Kante. All right. And obviously, we will still have the only thing that always changes are the flanks. If you notice, Ole always changes his flank. It's very randomized. He always random his flanks. Who plays at right and left, he switches them around. Okay, so the I'm talking from like a Christmas tree at the moment, all from the bottom to the middle center. So we'll still definitely see Rashford in that. So it's either you again looks at the speed of the game. I feel that Cavani should start as per what Azrin said. Okay, he do drive and give advice to the players in big matches. That's what I like him to do. He's like a tutor sometimes. I'm going to play you like this. You stand there. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to pass to you. All right. So Daniel James, yes and no. But I will still put him in because of his current form. Right. Every manager will want to put a very high confidence player in it. So if the first half you don't perform, nothing to lose. We still have Greenwood, or other flank players to go in there. Yeah. So to win this game, I think we really need some really experienced players. And again, there will be surprises towards the end, as the DNA of our United is always leave it late. Once they start feeling the pressure, the 80th minute, they automatically turn into a different team.
Okay,
So
I'm gonna ask you guys one bonus question. Do you guys foresee any penalty or not for this match? Because Mr. Mohan is just waiting. I think it's just waiting.
It'll be interesting because trust me, we have been getting penalties quite often. But I think the recent games not so often as earlier. So I think referees are more. They're like, okay, I'm getting the pressure, so there are less penalties for us. But again, guys, we have a question here from Jasneesh. Thanks, Jasneesh, for watching the show. What is the chance of another United Big Six game to finish 0-0? Okay, I mean, this is a very logical question because the last time we played Chelsea, I think the whole world was watching it. In Malaysia, it was a midnight game, and all of us were wide awake. And next thing, no 0-0. We had a 0-0 game. So again, the hype is so real. But do you think this game might end up in 0-0? Do you think both teams will be cautious and not to concede any goals, and let's just play a cautious 90 minutes? What do you guys think? Anybody who want to take up this question?
Maybe I'll go first. So I feel because our recent match we just draw 0-0. Okay. And I don't think so Ole will hold back. He definitely also will want to test out Tuchel's new team. Okay. So nothing to hold back because a 3 point is a 3 point. Nobody likes 1 point or 0 point. We don't like to drop points, especially at this stage of the season. So definitely not a 0-0. But if Janish is mentioning about draw, perhaps a 1-1 or 2-2, so that will probably end up a draw, but definitely will be a goal. It will not be a goalless game. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. We also have some comments running here, also from Jashnish. So, Mr. Moon, maybe you can take this as a Chelsea fan. Maybe you can comment on this. How is the idea of playing Daniel James on the right, Mason Greenwood on the left, and MR? I think it's Marcus Rashford as a CF with Bruno in the number 10 role. So, if we have this type of formation as a Chelsea fan, would you actually be a worry for you?
It certainly would.
All right, that's interesting. And why would that be?
I can see a lot of creativity coming from this particular, if this is the particular lineup. And that would put a lot of. But once again, I think Chelsea's back three proved it very well against Atletico when they did not give them any chance. And in Kovacic, and if Kante plays, I think that would give them a solid back line, which would match any really strong attacking formation from United.
Okay.
But
So
what
basically, that, yeah.
I really like to see is an early from either side. Once there is an early goal, you are at least you are assured of attacking football. Because if you notice the game that was played earlier this season, hardly any clear-cut chances were created by both sides, and it was. I mean, in a way, it was actually quite boring watching that match. Like you said, it was a midnight match, and this time also another midnight match. So I'm really hoping for an early goal to really tune things up.
Okay. So meaning to say that an early goal here would be a big game-changing factor, right?
Certainly, it would. At
Okay.
least for the sake of the fans.
I
Just waking up,
mean,
yeah.
we all got to agree here that this season the big games for United has always been a very topsy-turvy moment, you know. So of course, like what Mr. Mohan said, the early goal would be vital. But again, would we get the early goal? Now that's the question mark, you know, because we are playing away, which is our fault right now. But it's Chelsea rejuvenated under Tuchel, I believe, for the last 4 or 5 games, especially against Atletico Madrid. So, I mean, any one of you guys, let's start with prediction maybe. What do you guys think? Maybe Azri, we can go with you first, bro.
I'm gonna go with like a 2-all draw. Both teams would have something to show, and they want to actually achieve a win. It's just that, yeah, it's gonna be both action packed on both ends. So to me, it'll still be a draw.
So you're expecting a draw, huh?
Mhm.
Okay. Thanks, Azri. Warren, what's your take? What's your prediction on this game?
Be a 2-1 United. The second goal, I feel it will be a very dramatic goal. It'll probably be influenced by VAR. Yeah, so that's what.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Warren. Serena, what is your prediction?
I like what Warren said, like the dramatic end. Well, that would be great as well. Yeah. Okay. For me, like I said, I think it's gonna be a snooze fest kind of game again, and I think we're gonna play deep also. But anyhow, I would like to just nick a win for United with 1-0. My scorer will be Bruno Fernandes.
Fantasy?
I'm not playing fantasy, but
Okay.
I think he will be scoring.
Not a penalty, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. I hope no lah, because he just got it right for Europa, so I hope no lah. If not,
Okay.
Mr. Mohan gonna be again Bruno Fernandes score. Right?
Mm.
All right. Now we go to the Chelsea fan, Mr. Mohan. So what is your prediction, sir, for this game?
My head says draw, my heart says Chelsea win.
So which are you going to follow, sir? Which is more obvious right now?
The more objective one is going with my head, which is probably a draw.
Okay.
But people always say follow the heart, you know.
And who's your scorers if it's a winning game?
I would put it as Timo Werner.
Timo Werner.
Yeah.
Timo Werner, okay. Interesting.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Mohan.
Okay.
Let's run through some comments here. We heard from Ravinesh here. Hi, Ravinesh. Thanks for watching the game. So it was a tough game because I'm just waiting for Cavani to show his true game. This is the time he can be all out. And then he goes on to say, with that momentum, he says it'll be a draw game. So, I mean, even I think he's a bit confused, you know. It's going to be a draw game, but he wants Cavani to be all out. So, okay. Thanks, Ravinesh, for that. And then we have from Jashnesh, another prediction. He said United 1, Chelsea 0. Bruno penalty after a lengthy VAR check. Chelsea will miss a penalty too.
Oh,
Okay, let's.
so this is what exactly Warner said, that dramatic kind of, this
Yeah.
particular.
Because Chelsea will miss a penalty, but not the keeper saving. The ball will go out because I'm not sure when the last David Hare saved the penalty, right? But then again, a lengthy VAR check. Wow, that's interesting. So let's see. And then we have a Dave B. Dave B in the house. He said 1-0 for Werner. Coming from a Liverpool fan. Okay, I feel the pressure. I feel the pressure.
Yes,
I think
yes.
we have a lot of
I
Liverpool
just
fans
want to see
watching
that.
the show. So again, that was a good part of it. But guys, so those who ever play fantasy, so Azri, do you play fantasy and Warren?
Used to.
Okay, now let's be open here. So based on the current United team, who do you think would you put in your fantasy team to actually be the captain, a United player, or do you think so? You have one.
Sorry, can
Obvious.
I interrupt to say that Dev B actually putting 0-1 Werner, right? Is that an own goal? Because we are playing away.
Oh, okay, Warren, you're smart. You're
Oh
smart.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Okay, back to your question. Yeah, definitely. Bruno has to be there. Uh, Probably we'll put him as a triple captain also lah, if I have the
Oh.
chance. Okay,
So you're
that's for sure.
confident. You're confident he's going to perform against the big team because the voodoo is there that he might not
Yeah.
perform.
He don't score, but he may at least gather one or two assists.
Yeah.
Yeah. So getting a yellow card from him can be very random. That's when unless he gets the pressure lah. But putting him there will ensure at least I get some points on fantasy lah. Rather than if I ask me to put De Gea there, then maybe I will not get because just in case get a clean sheet. But Bruno is someone that he will score some points on my Bruno and Rashford. Yeah, both of them. They've
Okay.
been gaining a lot of assists lately. Yeah, both of them especially. Yeah.
Azri, so
The same. I would actually take the duo as well. I would not touch the goalkeepers or the defenders with a 10-foot pole right now, especially if I am looking for points on fantasy. So yeah, I think Rashford and Rashford and Fernandez for me.
okay. Serena?
For obvious reason, I think Bruno will always be there. I mean, as I said, right, it's always been a choice of being a captain. So yeah, if he is, I think like how I said, right, even if we win 1-0, he has to be the scorer.
Okay. And Mr. Mohan, who do you think would be your main man here?
I would go with Marcus Rashford.
Hmm?
Okay. All right. Okay, interesting.
Luckily,
So guys,
luckily he never say Marshall. If not, miss, I'm gonna say, Mr. Moy, give me your address.
okay, we have some comments here from Sena. United winning this either way 2-1. That's nice of a Liverpool fan to say that. Thanks, Sena. All right, and we have another one from Jay. Thanks, Jay, for watching. It's 2-0 for United. Zola and Desai. Is this some kind of retro game we had some time ago?
Very
But again, thanks
much
for the,
retro game.
I think it's reminiscing the past results, I guess.
yeah, I guess so. So anyway, it's going to be a fun game, So just all the best to both teams. So again, thanks, Mr. Mohan, for joining us for this Man United Chelsea preview match. All the best.
Yep.
Hopefully we win, but hopefully you're also smiling. So let's be even on each other. All
May
right.
the win actually.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Thank you,
I
Mr.
think
Mohan.
football.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Mr. Mohan.
football's
We
the
had a
winner.
very good shows with you here. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Mohan.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, guys. So with that topic, let's move to our next topic. It's something we saw in the Sociedad game for the Young Lions, the class of 2021. So Serena, maybe you want to take this?
Yeah. So in the game of Real Sociedad, we have seen a lot of young players are there. The introductions of not introduction. I mean, we have Ahmad Diallo's being there. Like I said, short tire or tire. I'm not sure how the pronunciation. And so what do you guys think? It's like we have all this like because this is what we are talking. Beginning of the show, like how Azri was saying that this is the time. Sorry, one was saying this is time we have to unleash them. So we don't have to buy more players coming in. So we can unleash all these young players in. and we can use them, because like I've seen it many times. You have to give them a game time. So like I see the player like Daniel James, Greenwood, all these players, right? In a matter, if you give them more game time, they will excel, and they will improvise themselves. We have seen that in Luke Shaw as well. So if we have a lot of young players in, so do you think it's the best time for us now to unleash all these young players back into United? Azri, what do you think?
Only if we can afford it, that's for sure. I mean, like on the topic where Maguire has been playing countless minutes already, and we don't want to wear anybody out, especially him and Fernandez. We can use the youth players as and when we can. I'm not going to conclude that they are the Sterlings or the Fodens, like where they're going to be up to that scale as of now, or even be game changers as of yet. But they will be very very handy in terms of like giving the first team players a rest. And as I said, it needs to be very very sensitive, very very careful when we want to actually use them, either in the starting lineup or as a substitution.
Okay, so we have here from Jasnesh here. Jasnesh, thanks for watching. I wanted to say just now, so we'll be meeting soon, I think, against AC Milan. Jasnesh is an AC Milan fan though. So, okay, yeah, he said, but can only afford to put in young players. This is a result business. What do you think about this, Warren? Warren.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right, it's okay. Well, I think there was a statistic that came out that United actually is one of the highest playing academy players across all the teams in the Premier League. We use the most in our academy players, and I also watch our under 23. So to write on your question, I've seen Ahmad and Shotayeb. They were thrashing players around. You can see both of them just teasing around players. There was a clip actually that was shared of how they played, both of them. So that's why they were both promoted to the first team. So it is always in our DNA from the class of 92 until today, feeding young children, young players, sorry. So having said that, yes, but we always leave it late. The young players would hardly start the game. They will always come in the last 10 minutes. So they will definitely be given a chance. But if we are losing 3-0, I don't think so. Ole will put the young boys in. Right. So if we are winning, we have a
If
comfortable
we are
lead.
losing 3-0, Ole will put Marshall in to expect as a game changer.
Yeah, probably just to ask him to redeem himself for Dean here.
Yeah, we have a comment
Yeah.
from Justin. Hey, Dinesh, I love the video you did about how you ranted about Martial. But again, guys, okay, I mean, we're talking about young players. We also have this particular character, Anthony Martial. He's young. I think he's about 24, 25, I believe. But of course, young by age, old by look. So do you think we, rather than also getting the academy players inside, do you think we should actually go into the market and get young players? Do you think we should sign young players, or do you think we should bring up young players? We have Diallo, we signed in. Shotore is from the academy themselves. Rashford was a product of the academy. So these are the prominent players we have. But do you think we have enough in the reserves, or do you think we should go out and sign more players, young players? I mean, maybe Azri, you want to try this first?
Oh yeah. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Tuan Zivi is also a youth player, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it was even like a player of the year for at one point in the youth team. So the thing is, like, while maybe for Manchester United's academy standards, they were definitely standouts, and we wanted to actually experiment or trying to phase them into certain starting lineups in our games. They may not uh, actually uphold like the standards that they brought from a youth team into a senior squad. So, but the thing is, I wouldn't, let's say if there was an equivalent Sancho out there in Germany, but we're looking to buy him because he's so young and want to bring him into United. I wouldn't pay that much as well. Because it's not a guarantee, especially if that player from outside has not had enough exposure, especially in the EPL where it's more physical compared to any other league around the world. So if it were me, considering how United stands, that significantly different from the likes of City and all, where they build their youth teams, I would actually invest more in the youth, for that matter.
Okay. Right, Azri, before we do this, as per what Kishan said, Marshall at the wheel. So all viewers, in case you're just tuning in, so just let me just update you. We have a certain video here by Abang Din. That's me on Anthony Marshall, the honors review. So if Marshall is the wheel, maybe you can watch this video. You can know which wheel is he at, you know. So again, guys, do not forget to actually watch this video. It's quite an interesting video. I'm not sure when they're going to get it. I mean, taken away because of the amount of stress I did, you know. So YouTube is being kind honest. And also we have another show, guys. Whoever watching, just a moment. It's this. Rumor has it by Dave B and Kishan. This also is on YouTube right now. So feel free to watch the show, guys. It's a very nice show on the Fantasy Premier League predictions and also certain topics there. So watch it to know it. All right. So thanks, guys, viewers. Do tune that. And also coming back to our topic. So Warren, as per what I asked Azri about the young players, I mean, who would you think United should sign or get as a young player into our squad?
Okay, I got to sidetrack a little bit. Okay. If you look back at Ferguson time, right, post-Ferguson era, right, we have never signed a striker from an age of 25 to 30. We have never done that one. Okay. We have always bringing someone very young or someone very old. I mean, when I say old, it's above 30. Okay. So now I feel the only striker I think that we can sign who is young and who is delivering goals is definitely Haaland. So I feel that he will be a game changer. I think he has proved himself on the big stage lah. So I think he would be one of the young strikers that I feel United should sign to fill in a striker position, because we have never signed much striker over the years that is around this age. Martial, just want to add on to your rant a little bit, right? When he first came in, he scored on his debut around Liverpool. He was very young that time. But I'm not sure if anybody is aware that he has a little issue off the pitch. Okay. He cheated on his 19-year-old model girlfriend. Okay. Who then had a very young infant. Okay. He left with, I think, will end up with another model. And ever since then, his form has just declined. Okay, so what I believe is that because these days the younger players are all being paid very well, okay, and for Marshall, sometimes he's a little bit proud. So to write on your rant, okay, I feel that the off the pitch thing kind of affected his form in a way, causing him to also sometimes show up at games, don't show up at games, you know. Yeah. So okay, coming back here, yes, I think we should feel that. I feel that we should sign some young players, but definitely strikers are not easy lah, because the more experienced striker are slightly of age. They are not so young, except for Haaland. So for young strikers, I will only go for one striker at this point, because the other spots have to definitely feel for more experience. And so when I say experience, they are a little bit of age lah, maybe mid-20 onwards.
Okay, because now the thing is the United's average squad age is about 25 years old. That's the average squad age, which I think personally it's a decent average we have. You know, but again, a comment by Jay here, United under Ole are clearly looking into the future. I mean, that's right, because we are having a lot of young players inside, and you know, so on and so forth. But Serena, do you think we're in the right path? Are we depending too much on the young players, or do you think we have a mixed breed where we need young players at the same time we need class and star players? Do you think we need that?
Yes, I would agree. What you said just now, we need a mixture of both youngs and also experienced players, because we are playing in Premier League, you know, where we have a lot of competitors. You know, I would still say Premier League is one of the best league in the world compared to other leagues. You know, so I think with the experience of other teams, we need experienced players in our team as well. But I would love to second what Kishan said just now earlier. Kishan said, yes, we had the thing, but the thing is we are overspending it to a certain players which we do not have to pay that much. Like we have a lot of spending on. I mean, we have spending on Maguire, all this. So I think if we can do proper how do I say, a plan, like who do you want, if you want to build a team, you wanted to have a squad depth and all this, you should start planning well as well. So for me, yes, I would agree. I would love to see young players in United. This is definitely a big thing for me, because you wanted to see them. That's how we have seen Cristiano Ronaldo as well, right? Given time, he has become who he is now and all this, right? He has given time to play and prove this one. So I wanted to see more players like that, from young to have make them someone. How's Marcus Rashford is also, so let them shine. We wanted to see them more, and of course, we must have a mixture of experienced player as well. This is to boost the players as well. For me, like you have seen how Cavani is coaching Greenwood at times, so this kind of players would have done that, so yeah, I would love to see mixture of that.
Okay, I mean that's interesting because recently we are having some rumors saying that Haaland has been speaking to Ole and Ole is in touch with Haaland. So it's going to be interesting in the summer to actually see that. But again, let's move to a comment here by Dave. Warren, you have a fan. I
No.
become your friend in the first show. So way to go,
Thank you.
lad. I mean, but guys, you guys are really amazing. But again, okay,
Yeah.
let's come back to the young kids again. Diallo, especially, we signed him for I think but 40 over million from Atalanta, and he's the YouTube sensation because we have not seen much games on the Atalanta jersey, but based on his his performance with on the YouTube videos. So, do you think it was a wise move? Because the last time we actually had a recommendation, Bebe, Ferguson fumbled it big time, 8 million, and that guy was I mean, I'm sorry to say, a disaster all over. So do you think this guy Diallo, especially, he's the most prominent young player we have. So do you think this guy is enough on the flanks for us, or do you think we still need to go and get a young Jadon Sancho from Dortmund? Because be honest, Sancho is a proven player. Diallo is an upcoming player. So again, this is not a class of 92 where you're taking the risk. We don't have the class of 92 anymore. Those boys rocked it. But this young boy, the impact has been like a Ronaldo level. People are talking very highly about him. But do you guys really think that, maybe Asri, do you think really that this guy has what it has, or maybe it's a far cry?
I'm concerned if people are to try to say that this is the next Ronaldo or this is the next Messi or something like that, especially when they're just at the age of 18. It would not be fair to compare even him to Sancho, who has proven himself in another league for that matter. I feel like if you want, you should at least give him a full season to see what he can offer onto the table. And it's almost the same what Tai Chong was to Manchester United, where he was brought up from the youth team and he was just warming the bench most of the time. So I feel like it's too early a call to comment, or to be too blunt or to be too sharp. It's just not fair for him. I just hope that the hype doesn't actually create that unnecessary pressure on himself. That's all.
Okay. We have a comment here from Kishan. Like, it's like United will spend big just to show who is the big gun now. Start planning for the club. Who is the right fit for the club? Okay. Yeah. And then we have another comment from Jay about the past failures. Bebe, Gabriel Oberton, swing and miss. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we also saw that Gabriel Oberton, so much of videos on YouTube. Again, it's all the YouTube videos, of their glory moments, but we never really saw that United. But we have a good dig here by Kishan. Kishan, by the way, is a ardent Liverpool fan. So he just said that Haaland just needed someone to speak with him in the Norwegian language. That's why he spoke to Ole Mama. That's a good one. But again, Haaland, United, young player, future. You think it's the right fit for Man United? Maybe Warren?
Yeah, firstly, because I think to Kishan, not because they are Norwegian, but because Ole used to manage him in Molde before. So they probably have some chemistry now, and that's why I end up becoming his mama. So I guess to get him to come over to a big club, unfamiliar league, Ole is there. I think he will fit in just right because he probably feel very comfortable. Okay, coming to a big club and with Ole having to know the entire history of the club, proven, so it'd be easy for him to settle in. All right. And one thing about Haaland, I feel that he's a bit barbaric when he play. Young, tall, and very barbaric attitude. So a little bit like our El Matador. So he bringing a different energy. Okay, you can see left and right click. He can score. Okay, he will try. He's finishing a little bit like Rooney. A little bit bulldozing. I think that's nice. So definitely he will be a good fit for say.
So you think it's a good fit for Man
Yeah.
United?
Yeah.
Okay, Martial's friends, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's only one way Martial can leave. If you think about it, right?
I think if Marshall really leaves, like, we can expect
Mm.
another video from Dinesh from our Abang Din.
Again,
Popping some champagne.
I don't want to be put into this Martial rant because then this show is all going to be about ranting, But then again, okay, as if you spoke about Haaland, now we also have a lot of young players in our team like Brendan Williams. For a
Mm.
good play he was last season. This season he just shadow himself. He's hardly getting game time. I think the last prominent game I saw him was Leipzig. Okay, so do you think this particular kid, do you think he deserves to stay at Old Trafford or do you think he needs to be loaned out? Because a lot of young players like Andre Gomez really talked about young player and then we had to sadly see him leave to Portugal and I think he's doing fine there. So do you think that these are the missed moments? We have talents, but then again, we also have a lot of superstar players like Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba, David De Gea, Harry Maguire. So is that the reason why the young players are being suppressed into just a waiting game? Do you think that some of the players have to leave to give chance for them to come, or do you think the big superstars should be there? And what do you guys think, Serena? Maybe.
Yeah. For me, I think how do I say this? For me, for especially for the young players, right? How you say, yes, I would agree. They have to, if they're not given game time to play, they should be loaned out and then let them excel themselves there. We have seen, Lingard is no more young, but we have seen, how Lingard has been loaned out and how he's doing in West Ham, and I hope he do us a favor today as well. So like we have seen a lot of players who have moved out and have been loaned and they have been improving themselves there. So if they will not be given game time to play in United and always being benched and stuff, right? So I think the best way is to loan them out, and also at least in a way that we know that they will come back stronger and they'll come back with the confidence because they have played. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, this whole young player topic has been interesting because we might have an interesting summer this coming end of season. So let's see. But again, before going to the next topic, let's run down some comments here from Dave B. Imagine Liverpool with all the hype throughout the transfer window with Haaland signing. Ole snaps him at the dying hours of window. Haaland scores a winner versus Liverpool. Klopp goes like, duh. That would be the icing on the cake for all United fans, and I believe that. And Kishan goes on to say something. Davey, let's not talk about LFC's transfer strategy. They will do the talking and pricing with the club just for other clubs to come in to pay. But we are no better. We can say
Correct.
that
I just wanted to say that. Yeah.
we're not going to bring anything. So actually, all these transfer rumors are a bit scary for United because it's all new YouTube videos of players who's all going to come to Old Trafford. So that's how it is. So anyway, it was a good topic. Now let's just go to our last and final topic. Another double-header game we have Crystal Palace. All right, that's going to be an interesting game. So, what do you guys think about this game? We already have the Chelsea game earlier. That was a big game, but then Crystal Palace, not so well performing team, but we also are not doing well when we go to Selhurst Park, right? So, even though we are the king of the West, Azri, do you think this can be a walk on the park, or would it be like a banana skin for us?
We're gonna have to fight for it. It's not a walk in the park, especially for Crystal Palace. it always felt like, because even if you look into Crystal Palace games that they lose, they would have taken their shots on target. They would have had like a certain amount of possession. It's not like they were actually just giving it away. I sometimes feel like they were just on sheer bad luck at the time, conceding goals left, right, center. So this is one that Ole needs to make a point not to take for granted, especially if Crystal Palace is trying to look for a bounce back up. So yeah.
Okay, interesting. Warren, what do you think about the Palace game? What's the do's and don'ts for Man United?
No, I think Ole would definitely want to win this game because earlier the season we played Crystal Palace and we lost. And Crystal Palace is one of those teams where they will show up in big matches. So every time they play with the top four, top six, they will definitely outperform them a little bit as compared to they play to other position of clubs. So it's not something to look lightly. Again, every point matter at this stage.
Okay, but again, maybe what do you think Ole should be doing for this game? How does he have to prepare his team?
I think he has to have a very again, as a manager, you would also wanna be quite selective for your player and their condition. Okay, so after you play the Chelsea game, and then having AC Milan up and coming soon, so as a manager, you have to rotate them really well. I think Ole at this point, he perhaps has found his best 7 players all the time, and if you notice, the other 4 is always changing. So he has at least 70% of his players, his preferred players, always there. Okay, so
Can
the
we
other
have your seven? Can we have the 7 players on Warren?
Yeah, who do you think? Is
from the Gea, okay, and the left and the right wing, the centre back. The centre back will be Maguire. The second centre back is always all depends on the mood lah. So because why? Because if you notice, Lindelof would be bad, but he can assist at times. If you see, he can push the ball up because if everyone is man marking Bruno, right? No one is feeding the ball, right? So they have to rely on the back to feed front. So Lindelof would do a little bit of assist. Okay, so we have 5 there, all right, and then we have Bruno and Marcus Rashford. So this 7 will always be there, irregardless. All right. So the other 4 is always on rotation. Is when he feels who are we playing with. Does he wants to put in someone young or you want to put a speedster there, which we already have. So there you go.
okay. Serena, we have a comment from Kishan Balan. Come on, LFC raped them 7-0. For sure, United can do it. But remember one thing, after Liverpool won 7-0 against Crystal Palace, they went down really bad. So that might be a curse by the Palace, by beating them on big stage. So do you think we can actually have a high scoring game at Sellers Park, or would you think it will just be a straightforward slim win? What do you think?
I mean, if we can do the same score as 7-0, it would be great as well. Any not even 7, like any big score also, because it'll be great for us lah. But I think for now, I wouldn't wanted to say we go for really high. But I think for us to win 3-0 for this match, it should be okay. 3 or 4-0 should be okay.
Okay. No, but we'll get a predictions aside because just my concern would be Palace is on 13 on the league right now. Okay, so 13 on the league. They don't have a Zaha right now. So Azri, do you think without a Zaha-led Palace team, would they be like a toothless Palace team, or do you think they still have some potential in Benteke, I guess, as a striker? And do you think with Maguire, would they be able to hold back Palace, or do you think it's going to be like another Sheffield United game where we're going to bottle it against the bottom half team?
Okay, Benteke, honestly, I've always had the utmost respect for him, especially when he was still in Liverpool. He could do wonders for his height and size. And I was just looking at like the most recent like stats, even like say for example, Crystal Palace against Burnley, despite them being trashed 3-0, their possession was at 54%. 427 passes. These are the kinds of stats that you wouldn't expect a losing team to still come up with after 90 minutes. So knowing United, where the moment, let's just say they score 1 goal, maybe 2, they'll just try and sit back and soak in the pressure. And that's where I feel Crystal Palace could actually just bide their time and just wait for the right opportunity to just get the ball to Benteke and see what happens from there. So yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So, Warren, let's go with your lineup. Who do you think? Because we are having Chelsea a game before that, Crystal Palace, and I believe next week is the Manchester Derby. Right. So, do you think Ole is going to go for a very reserve United team where he's going to rest a lot of players, or do you think he's going to go all out with his best 11?
I
And
would
who
say
would
he
your
will.
11 be? I would like to know.
Well, I would say he will go all for his best seven that I mentioned earlier.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because they are consistent. All right. Touchwood Shaw has been injury free this season and he's on form. He's been assisting. He's been taking a lot of set pieces, so I'm very surprised. So nowadays Bruno don't even take the corner. He does for Luke Shaw. So he's really relying on his defense and wingers to turn offensive as well. So likewise, the seven I mentioned will always be there. All right. The other four, if you really look at the game, right, they are all based on form one or injury, or whether they perform in training or so. You trust me, you just notice. I mean, I always observe this four team that he always rotate. Sometimes either, especially now with our Scott McTominay is injured, right? He pair very well with Fred. Okay, so unfortunately now he's injured, so that role will always change. But now we also out of Pogba, so Matic will stand in. You know, so the likes of the flanking of the four, okay, Marcel would definitely have to be there, regardless what we have to say, because we have no choice. Okay, and Cavani inside there, all right, and Daniel James would be on the right at this point of time, or Mason Greenwood, because Mason Greenwood has not been performing so well this season, especially after his England drama when he was away with the England team. Ever since he came back, or perhaps he changed the jersey number, he wasn't performing the old Mason Greenwood that we know. So again, he turns to become a player where Ole no longer expect him to score anymore. Each time you put him in, you expect a goal. So he's different already. It's not like the last time. So to answer your question, Bang Din, I'm still sticking to my seven, which are the regulars. Okay, the four is something you as a manager, you will see what are your past and upcoming games and how you're going to fill in the four. Yeah. So because we have not seen the next match yet, so I cannot predict so far. Who the players are going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Thanks,
Mm.
Warren.
Yeah.
But
Welcome.
friend, Man City match next after Crystal Palace. Do you think Ole is going to rotate the squad? What do you think on your first 11?
Yes, I think he might be rotating, but I don't think so. It'll be much different. Just like how Warren said, probably seven, right? But I think for this game, probably we might see Taylor's playing ahead of Shaw, and also I think I'm not sure I'm going to disagree with Warren, but I think Greenwood has also improvised in from my point of view. Like, I think he has also improvised a bit for this season comparing for last season. So I think, like I said, he's been given more game time. I think he would be able to be there, to prove us wrong as well. So I think for this game Greenwood has to be played. Bruno, I think definitely he'll be playing as well. Other than that, I think other changes. I'm not sure if Ole is going to put Lindelof for this match. Probably he might, and then he's going to rest Bailly for City match. So yeah, that's how I think the rotation might happen, but not much, not big players lah. Because even again Real Sociedad, I was a bit surprised to see some of the top players are still playing. So I think Ole might just stick with his favorite numbers players first.
Okay, interesting. But guys, I also have a theory which I actually brought up last week's show, but I'll just bring it up again because this plays in my mind quite often. Uh, we have Shaw on the left as a left back. We also have a good player with Talas quality, Talas. Do you think Talas should play as a left winger also? Maybe a game like Palace. Do you think he should start on the left wing? We have Rashford there. But do you think Talas would be a good choice being a good left-legged crossing player? We have good crosses from him. So what do you guys think? Anyone?
I feel only Ferguson will do all this, and not all the post Ferguson managers will always attempt this experiment. Yeah. So to answer your question, very hard to see this happen. I guess I just need to add on just now why I think you mentioned about Brandon Williams, okay, coming in, because during the time, unfortunately, Luke Shaw is always very injury prone. So we have to sign a Thales, and we just still have to selfishly keep Brandon Williams in the team. Teles in Porto, he takes penalty, he's a key player, but when he
Yeah.
comes here, he don't even play like a Bruno. At least Bruno still get to carry on, his form, like how he played in Sporting and come here. But Teles the other way around, it's not even taking penalty, it's not a regular fit as well, So unfortunately, again, because in terms of choices of left winger, and you probably compare him with Marcus Rashford, definitely Rashford is better. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Yes, you got also a comment from Jashnesh here. Maybe Hazri. We have, don't forget Mata. I believe it's Mata. He's got a brilliant goal versus Brighton. So, I mean, he's currently the forgotten hero we have right now. So, do you think you would start him against Palace?
Yes,
If
I
you
would.
Okay.
I would play Mata for sure because it's a little bit selfish because the thing is, like, let's just say if I wanted to play around with the midfield just because it's Crystal Palace, I might be able to try something different. But you can trust in Mata to for me, I feel like to actually be in the middle as opposed to the previous position where he was always placed on the right wing, kind of so he doesn't have that pace anymore. So I feel that he was always comfortable into the middle and he can always feed it to every direction. He was never always just the left legger. As we know, like a few seasons ago, I noticed he's actually using his right leg every now and then. So I kind of like that, and he has a point to prove, perhaps at least until the end of the season, whether he could even choose to stay or not. But I think he would definitely want to leave a mark. And this game against Crystal Palace is just at his range. I think it's perfect for him.
Okay. Thanks, Hazri. Okay, guys, let's go to the predictions. We'll start with ladies first. Serena, what's your prediction for Crystal Palace game? You're on mute, I think, Serena.
Sorry. Because there was a mosque near my house, so I must mute it. Okay. I'll go with what I said earlier. With United winning 3-0.
3-0 for Man United. Okay. And who would your scorers be?
Okay, I'm gonna say it has to be Bruno. I always wanted Maguire to score. I don't know why. I'm always this defenders kind of person. So I hope Maguire will score from any corner kick or something. And then last, I think last probably Rashford. Yeah.
Rashford. Okay. Thank you, Serena. 3-0 by you. Warren, what's your prediction and who's your scorers going to be?
It'll be 2-0 from me, from Cavani and Rashford.
Cavani, Rashford. And Azri, how about you?
I'm gonna say 2-1. It's too good to be true for a clean sheet. I think Benteke will pull one back for Crystal.
Okay. And who's your scorers again?
For United, I'm gonna say Rashford, and if Telles plays, I want to bank on him for whatever reason.
Telles. All right. Thanks, Azri. So we have a prediction.
Dinesh, how about your prediction? And does your scorer include Martial as well?
I don't even include Martial in my squad to begin with. Okay. I would say a 2-1 for United. Because keeping a clean sheet is not going to be easy because Palace is 13th place. The season is coming to the peak. There's not much games left. So it's going to be a all-out fighting Palace team. So I think 2-1. Like what Azri said, Benteke can be the scorer there because Zaha, I believe, might not be playing. I'm not sure. He's injured. For United, I hope Bruno's on the double, man. I need some points for my fantasy. So I think Bruno on the double, guys. All right. So anyway, we have some prediction here from Jashnesh. Man United 1, Crystal Palace nil. Scotty McTominay, 40-yard volley. We are not sure whether Scott is going to play because he's injured right now, I believe. He's not playing against Chelsea. If he plays, all the better. And Kishan Balan, thanks Kishan Balan. He says 3-0 for Crystal Palace and 2-0 for Chelsea game. Uh, I'm not sure what is he trying to say because we are playing away and the away team is slow. So again, I like this t-shirt. So thanks. I think being a Liverpool fan, it's okay. No worries. Tazwid, thanks so much for watching the game. Watching the show, mate. So he gave a double prediction for Chelsea and Man United 1-1, Crystal Palace and United 2-1 to United. Thank you.
Hi,
And
Tazri.
Uh, and Kishan actually corrected his statement. He said both wins for United. I don't know what this boy is up to. So anyway, so that's the prediction for the Palace game, and I believe double header. So it's going to be interesting week for us. So hopefully the best for Man United because it's going to be an important run. If City is going to drop some points, this is the best chance to gain some points. If we are really serious about that, at also same time we have Leicester, Liverpool breathing down our necks, so we have to keep our power and pace above. So let's see what happens. So anyway, guys, we're coming to the end of the show, and Azri and sorry, bro, I didn't. Yeah, sorry,
Warren.
just
Warren,
Warren.
Warren.
Okay.
No, I always think about
Uh,
Warner, because there's no name down there.
It
No?
was very Warren, so Warren is good. So
Yeah.
Azri, any last words from you, bro, before we can wrap up?
Well, I mean, for me, I'm always a fan of goalies and for defenders, right? It's always better to score more than concede, So we may not have the most steady defense line at the moment, but I feel that in comparison to the time of Smalling and Jones, keepers may take it too lenient if, let's just say, the center backs are taking all the air balls or clearing everything. So that's why we always seem to be letting in very very simple goals, in my opinion. But if Martial doesn't play, I feel that we can always just score more than we concede per game. That's it.
Right, bro. I'll keep in
Azri,
touch with you. Azri, I'll keep in touch with you. I'll keep in touch. Let's move
Azri,
on.
I like the one you say you're also a defender kind of person, and that is why I say I want Maguire, because if you see from the past game, right, when Bailey is playing alongside with him, he always try to go up front, he's trying to score goals, trying. So I just that's why I put him on my score sheet as well. Yeah.
Fair.
Right. Thanks, Azri. Warren, any last words on the show?
Nothing. I guess. I mean, I'm quite delighted that we're given this opportunity on this show for us to share our views and thought about football, because sometimes apart from being a keyboard warrior, coming live on show saying the right thing is different than what we type and comment on other thing. So I feel that generally this whole thing, there's no right or wrong thing, for us to say. So having shows like this also gets to share our views from especially different walks of life, different views. We have different people who foresee different ways how certain players should play or shouldn't play and things like that, because we both look at the whole entire thing differently. So for each of us, I think when it comes to prediction or goal scorers, will always definitely be different. But what I really like this show about, I mean, if your question for me is about the game or about this show, I'm not sure which one you're
No,
referring.
I mean,
So
about the show
yeah,
because this is the first time
yeah.
we're having.
Yeah, so that's why my answer is more overall on the show. All right, and I hope to see more of our viewers in the future to contribute more. All right, because this platform allows us to let our hair down, at our own comfort zone, watching it from our most comfortable device, replying, and I like all the feedbacks that's coming in, good or bad, funny or not funny, mocking each other. I think that's the whole diversity of us, lah, being in a multi-race country. Yeah. So thank you again for Serena and Abang Din. All right, for having me on the show.
Thank you so much, Warren, for
Mm,
your very humble opinions. Thank you, Warren.
yeah, yeah.
And Frida, any last words?
Yeah. Guys, yeah, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for Azri and also Warren. You guys has been brilliant in terms of your reviews and also your insight. I would have second what Warren said also. This is the platform that we let the fans to speak out their minds. I don't want to touch more on keyboard warriors lah, but if
Mm,
this is the show, like you can see, you can share your views, and you get comments from your own fans. Then we can discuss about it. That is why we always emphasize this show is for the fans by the fans as well. So we love to see more of all of you guys also here as well, and also all other United fans and all football fans, so we can share their views together. Other than that, I'm so happy with both the guests today because actually both of you are still new, and you guys did amazingly. So yeah, I'm really glad for you guys. So yeah, Dinesh.
Okay, thanks, Serena. So, guys, before I end the show, all viewers, just be patient. There will be a upcoming show with the famous TikTok the
Celebrity.
TikTok the celebrity, I would say, Mr. J. We are going to have a talk with him very soon. Yeah, it's hosted by myself and Serena. So this will be coming up soon on YouTube very soon. So just stay tuned on YouTube for the updated video on it. It's going to be fun because this man is now the sensation of all United fans and also all non-United fans. So just stay tuned for this. It's going to be fun. It's going to be all banter, I believe. All right. So again, so putting that aside, guys, thank you so much for joining the show. So all viewers, thank you so much for your comments. Your comments actually drives the show week in week out. So thanks a lot for your insight comments, and we really appreciate it. So before I wrap up the show, guys, please do the right thing by liking, subscribing, and following Footy Talk on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and also Twitter. Just keep hitting the like button, share it around your friends, and those whoever wants to join the show to be part of the panel, like what Azri and Warren did, just feel free to actually drop us a message. We will definitely get you the shows because let me tell you guys, this show is by the fans for the fans. All right. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Warren, Azri, and Serena for being on the show.
sure.
And signing off, guys. Have a good day. Take care, guys.